What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the Draft League Viabilities. Now, this week, I'm not going to be covering two mons that go together just because these are two of my favorite mons in general, so I kind of wanted to cover them in the same week.
But I gotta be honest with you, I just had so much IHOP that I think I'm dead. Like, not even the good type of dead, like the food coma type of dead, where I just want to sleep. That's all I want to do.
But there's no time for sleep. There's Pokemon to be talked about, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite offensive bug types in the format, and that is, in fact, Scolipede. Scolipede is one of my favorite bug types in the format because it can do everything except for be a special attacker. And what I mean by that is it can be an offensive mon to where you just slap on 4 attacks and a life orb. It has the ability speed boost, so after 1 speed boost it'll be outspeeding basically everything. You can run 4 attacks on it and just blow through walls. If you want to be a setup sweeper to destroy everything and have nothing to deal with it at all because it's so fast after 1 speed boost, it can do that too. If you are facing a team that you notice is very bulky and very fat and very setup fodder-ish, and you have another setup super in the back, like say a Thunderous Therian or a Thunderous Incarnate or something like that, you can set up spikes and toxic spikes with this thing and just whittle your opponent down with hazards. This thing gets access to Baton Pass, so it can Baton Pass speed into other things, like if you need to Baton Pass a speed boost into your Pangoro to run through walls or something like that, you can do that. And a lot of leagues don't have the clause to where you can't pass like speed plus another stat. So if you need to, you can Swords Dance and then pass that speed into another mon. Realistically though, Scolipede is just an offensive behemoth. There are certain times where you can run a bulkier spread of Scolipede, like something to where you are running hazards, protect, and baton pass, and you run enough like HP and Spadef to live hits from certain things. I've done that a couple of times with Scolipede and it works out pretty well, but it's not something that can work out every single time, every single game. Granted, there's not a lot that can do that, but Scolipede for sure, it's very matchup dependent on that one spread. Offensively though, this thing has insane coverage, and I say it's insane because it hits hard without being resisted by anything. It has Bug and Poison for stab, so you can run like Mega Horn Poison Jab to hit things extremely hard. And then it gets access to things like Rock Slide to hit flying types that may want to try to hit you very hard. And once you have a speed boost up, even like things like Choice Scarf Staraptor aren't going to outspeed you, so you can hit them with a Rock Slide and completely blow them back. Gets access to the likes of Aqua Tail, so fire types that want to come in and try to hit it super effectively, you can outspeed it, hit it with an Aqua Tail. And in the same token, it also gets Earthquake. So while there are things that can resist some of its hits, they can't resist others. So just because it has resistance on the stab, it doesn't really make that big of a difference to Scolipede. Scolipede is also the type of mon that you have to prep for every single week. It's one of those things that you look at a team and you know that it's going to be one of the first things that a team preps for, mainly because it's so fast and can set up a Swords Dance so easily that it's something that needs instant prep. It's not something like a Chestnut to where you'd be like, I could slap on Aerial Ace or Hidden Power Flying and be good to go. No, this thing, and you need a dedicated wall for it. You need something that can have a Focus Sash and kill it with one shot. You have something that with a Berry that can live a super effective hit. Like, you need a way to counter it, and having something that forces prep on a team is honestly sometimes more important than the mon itself, and that's kind of key with Scolipede. It's funny though, because it only has base 100 attack, so why does it seem like it's so strong whenever things like Mew, they're not super strong offensively right off the bat, but with Scolipede having speed boost, you're more than likely going to be running Adamant most of the time and Protect, so you can automatically outspeed things that you wouldn't with Adamant as it is, and then you can just hit them extremely hard with a Mega Horn or a Poison Jab. So having the ability to run Adamant almost every single week is what makes Scolipede so powerful. Now, its speed tier is a little bit wonky. It's base 112. Now, base 112 speed is actually, it's unique because it outspeeds base 110s but underspeeds base 115s, and that's something that not a lot of Pokemon do. So if you want to outspeed, say, like Scarfed 110s, then you're forced to run Protect on it and Jolly. But if you have like a base 115 mon, like a Starmie, you can run it Scarfed, run it with like Psy Shock or something like that, and hit it very hard and still outspeed it. So while the speed boost ability is amazing for it, it's something that can actually hinder it in some points and times, because you do run Adamant, so it turns into almost okay, I have to protect, and if he has a Scarfed base 115 mon, I still lose, and that's where it's rough. Scolipede, though, is the type of mon that I want to pair up with a very good spinner. I want to pair it up with a Starmie, a Mega Blastoise. I want to pair it up with a Excadrill, something that can get rid of hazards on my side of the field without getting rid of the hazards on their side of the field. And what I like to pair this thing up with the most is Excadrill, mainly because you can set up rocks, spikes, toxic spikes, get rid of things, and Baton Pass Speed Boost into Excadrill all in 2 mons. And that's something that's very unique to these two together. Along with the fact that the coverage that Excadrill gets really opens up a lot of holes for Scolipede to run extra moves like Baton Pass, Protect, Swords Dance, Aqua Tail. Another thing I like to pair up Scolipede with is a steel type that can Volt Switch, and that's very limited to things like Cobalion and Magneton, but the one that I like to look at the most is Magneton. Now, if you're going to pair this up with Magneton, you don't pair it up with Excadrill because of the fact that they're both steel types, and that's no bueno, but then you can pair it up with things like Mega Blastoise and Starmie and have a very offensive core that can spin hazards away. I like to pair it up with Magneton just because it helps out with bulky waters. You have two things that instantly scare fairies away from coming at all, and a lot of the things that want to stop Scolipede from sweeping a team or just punching holes is a steel type. So if you're able to trap the steel type with Magneton, get off a lot of damage on it with like a Hidden Power Fire or a Choice Specs Thunderbolt, you're able to with this and make it weak enough to the point to where Scolipede can kill it with an Earthquake. But that's basically how I like to build around Scolipede. It worked out pretty well for me in the NPCC. I paired it up with a Cobalion, so I was able to not trap the steel types, but threaten them out with a close combat, Volt Switch around, set up rocks, and then I also had I'm trying to remember what my spinner was. I can't even remember what my spinner was in that league, but it worked out really well. I loved having Scolipede and Cobalion on the same team. Overall, though, if I'm going to give this thing a grade, I'm going to give this thing a B+, because I think it's one of the best setup sweepers and one of the best hazard setters. However, it is a little bit on the frail side on both physical and special, and if you do have a Scarf base 115, it's probably one of the easiest ways to deal with it, along with the fact that you are kind of rolling the dice when you say, okay, I have Mega Horn that destroys it. It's not 100% accurate, so it can kind of sort of hurt it, and X-Scissor isn't always the most powerful stab, even at +2. However, a mon that can just hazard stack, destroy walls, and just do amazing things in League format, it's something that makes it my favorite, not the best, but just something that I'm personally really comfortable with using. But that's basically it for this Viability. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, along with leaving a like before you go. But I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.